Hi and welcome to XLOOKUP. Today we will be learning how to use the XLOOKUP function in Excel since it helps us to speed up our work and create and find records for us without having to do it manually. So let's get learning this amazing handy tool right away. What is XLOOKUP? XLOOKUP is a new function in Office 365 and is a new and improved version of the VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP function. It does everything VLOOKUP used to do and much more. XLOOKUP is a function that allows you to quickly look for a value in a dataset, vertical or horizontal, and return the corresponding value in some other row or column. Access to XLOOKUP. As of now, XLOOKUP is only available for the users of Office 365. So, if you're using prior versions of Excel like 2010, 2013, 2016 or 2019, you won't be able to use this function. XLOOKUP function syntax. This is the syntax of the XLOOKUP function. XLOOKUP, lookup value, comma, lookup array, comma, the return array. These are mandatory arguments. Then, if not found, comma, match mode, comma, search mode. These are the optional arguments. XLOOKUP function examples. Fetch a single lookup value. Suppose you have the student result dataset and you want to fetch the English score for Roida, meaning the lookup value. I will enter the XLOOKUP formula here and it asks me for the lookup value, meaning what value it should fetch the results for. I will mark the cell in the names column in my result table. I want XLOOKUP to fetch values against a name. So next, I will specify the entire names column range where it will look for the entered name or value. Next, I want the score for English, so I will specify the range of cells where my XLOOKUP should search for English scores. As I enter the name here, you will see that first XLOOKUP looks for the entered name in the names column and then it fetches the corresponding English score for the name. Fetch from left or right side of record. As we just fetched a record for the lookup value on the left hand side and records on the right side, we will now see that XLOOKUP can also work for lookup values on the right hand side and records on the left. We have once again entered the formula and here are the results corresponding to the lookup value name Iman. Look up and fetch an entire record. With XLOOKUP, I can directly fetch the entire record instead of a single value with just one formula. I don't need to enter it again and again as with VLOOKUP or specify the column number. Once again, our lookup value is the name, mention range for the lookup value. Next, we can select all the columns we want our value returned from at once. Now as we enter the lookup value name as Ali, we get all the corresponding results. But we cannot delete the value in cells K6 and L6 directly. We can change it by editing the original formula only. Two-way lookup using XLOOKUP. horizontal and vertical lookup. The benefit of this two-way lookup is that the result is independent of the student name and the subject name. If I change the student name from Ali to Iman, or if I change the subject name from English to chemistry, this two-way XLOOKUP formula would still work and give me the correct result. Now, for this we will use a nested loop. The inner XLOOKUP is solved first. The parenthesis contains the same formula we have used previously, which checks for the student name and fetches all the corresponding records of that name. Once all the records of that particular name are fetched, the XLOOKUP now checks for the subject name and returns the corresponding value. Now, while writing the formula, I will first enter cell J5. This is where the subject name is entered or changed later. Then, I will enter the range which indicates where to look for subject names. Next comes the nested loop and another XLOOKUP is entered. Enter the lookup value as we will look for names here. Then specify the array range for lookup. This time I will enter the array as B6 to B11. I will leave out B5 since now my area of work is going to be from cell B6 to E11, since this is the direction of movement of array pointer for the lookup value names. So I don't need to include cell B5. Next, the return array is going to be from C6 to E11. Since like I said, this is going to be my work area where my arrays are located and searched for. Now close the parenthesis and hit enter. Let me enter the name Ali and this is the corresponding result for Ali's English. Now let's change the name of the subject to chemistry and see that Ali's chemistry score is now fetched instead of an error message. Let me change the student name to Iman and this brings up corresponding results for Iman's chemistry score. We can see that our results are independent of the student name or subject name. When lookup value is not found. The fourth argument in the XLOOKUP function is if not found, where you can specify what you want in case the lookup cannot be found. Let's enter the XLOOKUP formula as before. Only this time also typing within inverted commas the error message. I have typed not found. Whenever there will be a mismatch in names list, an error message will be displayed, such as John is not in my names list and a not found message is now displayed. Fetch within multiple ranges. Another method to use the if not found argument or the fourth parameter is that we can look for data in one table, but if it is not found there, then we can go to another data table and look for records there. We can also search within different sheets of the same workbook. Anyways, let's enter the formula with a nested loop and see how it works on different tables. First, we will enter a formula to fetch all records for names in table 1, but enter another formula in the if not found parameter. If my entered name is not found in table 1, then go to table 2 and look up the name's value in the second table and fetch its results. My name Iman was found in table 1, but the name Zainab must not have been found in table 1. This is where the if not found parameter works, and here is where we have entered the second lookup formula. Hence it fetches the record for Zainab. Fetch a sum of multiple columns. A very interesting function XLOOKUP can perform is that it can also return the sum of multiple columns, and it is so simple. I need the total score of all subjects, so my lookup value is once again G6. Then my lookup array is B5 to B11 and I will select one column range. Add a plus sign and then enter another column range and so on. As I hit enter, I will receive a sum of all my 3 subject columns. Approximate match with XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP finds an exact matching value for us. It can also find an approximate value for us, either a last smallest value or the next larger value to the entered value. This is going to be our closest result. So let's enter the XLOOKUP formula. This is going to be the lookup value, the lookup array. The return array is going to be the name and English score. Next comes the if not found parameter, but in order to skip it for now, I will close the comma with a blank space in between and go to the next parameter of match mode. We have some match mode values like -1, 0 and 1. If I enter -1, I am going to get a value lesser than the entered value if the exact match of the value is not found. Let's have a look by hitting enter. If I enter lookup value 123, which is not in the dataset, then now I will be returned a value lesser than 123 from my dataset, which is 120, as we can see, and here is the fetched result. Now let's enter the formula again, and the match mode value is 0, which is also the default value of our formula at all times. It returns the exact matching value. If I enter 145, I will get an error because there is no exact match for 145 in my data set. However, if I enter 140, which happens to be exact matching value of my data set, the XLOOKUP will now fetch the exact value of 140. Let's enter the XLOOKUP formula again, and this time my match mode value will be 1 or +1. And this time if I enter a mismatching lookup value, then a record of one value higher is going to be returned from the dataset. I enter 134, but since exactly 134 is not present in the dataset, a value higher than 134, which happens to be 140 from my dataset, will be fetched instead. Horizontal lookup. As previously we have seen that XLOOKUP can do vertical lookup. Now we will also see that XLOOKUP can also do horizontal lookup. Now I have placed my dataset horizontally. I will enter the XLOOKUP formula again. The lookup value once again is the name cell K5. The lookup array is going to be names row ranging from cell B5 to H5, and the return array is going to be chemistry scores row ranging from B7 to H7. As I hit enter, let's see the result for lookup value Ali. The result is fetched without any error. I hope this video was very useful for you and can help you create quick automated record tables for your business. Stay tuned for more.